That can't happen. But it did. Phillies go down 6-5 to the Los Angeles Angels as we welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Batalico, Ben Davis, in a moment, John Kruk. 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. 9 left on base. They got 9 guys on via walk. Add 1 more hit by pitch, that's 10. And then they got, 6 hits. And they can't get enough runs, and the pitching is very sloppy.
I think the 6 hits would be that problem. I mean, you look at the first inning, they were given every gift in the world. They scored 3 runs. Okay, that's fine. I thought they maybe could have tacked on 1 or 2 more there. But when you're getting walked all day long, because Canning stunk. I mean, this is a guy that could not hit the broadside of a barn if I walked him up to it and gave him a baseball and said, hit it. I mean, this guy was missing by feet on the outside part of the plate. To me, it's a little confusing. I mean, you get into a good situation, you go 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position, plenty of gifts. But, I mean, let's face it. You get to Seranthony Dominguez, and that's where the game was lost. Game was lost by the bullpen tonight. Both starting pitchers were not that good. I think we all agree with that. You look at Christopher Sanchez tonight, 1 swing and a miss. 1. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
4.
I mean, you could lob pitches up there, you might get a swing and a miss.
4 runs allowed, all of them earned this time.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, he did not look good. He wasn't very sharp. He didn't hit his spots. There was a lot. There was a lot to not like for Christopher Sanchez tonight, but it's one game. You know what? The 2 pitchers, starting pitchers, crossed themselves off, and then it was the bullpen time.
Ben, they got 5 runs, but they gave up 6, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it was sloppy.
5 runs is enough to win a game, or it should be, especially with Canning on the mound.
Without a doubt. It was sloppy all the way around. Sanchez, 56% strike rate. Canning, 51% strike rate. And obviously there's a case in point with the 9 walks for the Angels, and the Phillies just couldn't capitalize. And it looked like it was going to be an early exit for Canning, but the Phillies let him stay in the game and throw 5 innings. He only gave up, 4 earned runs. His ERA actually went down in the ball game from 7.5 to 7.45. So the Phillies looked disinterested at times throughout the course of this ball game. And, there are some good points in the fact that Alec Bohm had 3 more RBIs. He's got 29 now on the season. But it's one of those nights, you just got to move on.
Let's go out to Anaheim right now by the magic of television and join the magical John Kruk, who called this game tonight with Tom McCarthy. John, 6-5 Angels, and I'm looking at a 10-win Los Angeles team, and you watch Canning on the mound in that first inning, and he looked awful, and I thought the Phillies were going to score 10 runs, for goodness sakes. Where did you see it go by the boards?
Well, the lack of hitting with runners in scoring position, the Phillies had their opportunities after scoring 3 in the first. They had plenty of opportunities to score more runs. You end up with 5 runs. You would think to yourself you should win that game. But, the wild pitch, the 2-run score on a wild pitch, I mean, that's inexcusable, to be honest with you. At some point, I know Trout can run, but there's no way he should score from second on that play. There was no backup, first of all. And that's one of those balls that Garrett Stubbs should have just eaten. Toss it to Seranthony, let Mike Trout stay on third base and make him get a hit. Now, Ward did come up with a double after that, which would have scored them both either way. But 9 walks, hit by pitch, 6 hits. You should score more than 5 runs. And but like Ricky said, this is one game where they didn't do the job that they have been doing the previous 3 or 4 games.
You know what? The one thing that is bothering me right now is Seranthony Dominguez. He looks like a shell of himself right now. And I'm not saying this because, quite frankly, I think he still has the stuff to pitch and to pitch well and to be good in the back end of the bullpen. But are you seeing anything that you say to yourself, wow, you know what? It's going to take one game to turn him around. I feel like this is going to take a while for him.
Yeah, I've been worried about Seranthony too, and I thought his last outing in San Diego, he had a clean 1-2-3 inning, but it just, a guy that has that stuff to lose confidence like he has, and you could just see it on his face that he's not sure when he comes in. He's not sure what he's going to do. So, the rest of the team's probably not sure either. Caleb Cotham, Rob Thompson, of course, but it's just confidence, and I think I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what I would do, but 2 years ago it worked for Jose Alvarado, and they sent him out, and they said, work on the cutter, throw the cutter more, and then he figured out a grip on the cutter that it was effective, and he's been a really darn good reliever at the back end of our bullpen for the last 2 years. I don't know if Seranthony needs that, but he needs something to get his confidence back because he still has stuff. The ball's moving. The problem is it's moving away from where he wants to throw it, and that's not a good thing.
Johnny, Alec Bohm has 29 RBIs in 30 games. He's hitting .364. When's he going to start to not get pitches to hit?
Well, I think that's going to be a problem. As a young player, I know I never it took me a while to figure out, are they pitching to me or are they pitching around me? And I think that's something that Alec is going to now, these other teams aren't going to let him beat them. Now, they did walk Bryce today, but, that was a righty-righty matchup. But, I think with Alec, I love him in the 4 spot. I think he's the most accomplished hitter we have with runners in scoring position just because he can go line to line. But, you'd have to think that they have to start trying to pitch him differently just because of what he is doing now. And they're going to make an adjustment to him. And I think Alex, though, I think he's good enough to adjust back to what the pitchers are going to do with him.
John, we've been talking about Seranthony Dominguez on the mound in relief. What did you think of Christopher Sanchez in his 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs? And we wondered how he would show himself after a little bit of a rough start. Certainly he had more unearned runs. They weren't on him. But what do you think tonight of the way he pitched?
Just command. Look, if you're throwing 100 and your command can be off because you can throw it by people, but Christopher doesn't throw 100. It didn't seem like to me he used his changeup enough tonight, and maybe that's the scouting report against the Angels hitters is, they're look for the changeup or whatever. I don't know, but I didn't think he threw his changeup enough, and he didn't command his pitches. Seemed like he was he threw a couple changeups that looked like cutters. They were running down and in on the right-handed hitters. And that's normally a pitch, a lefty, that's going to fade away from a right-handed hitter. It just wasn't there tonight. And look, the Phillies have an issue coming up, with Spencer Turnbull pitching tomorrow. They have 6 starters. And I get it with days off and stuff. You're not going to need 6 starters, so something has to happen. And I don't know if these guys are feeling pressure. I don't know if Christopher's feeling pressure, like if I don't pitch great, I'm coming out of the rotation, I want to stay. So I don't know the mental side of what's going on with Christopher. I just know tonight that his last couple starts, the command just hasn't been there for him.
He literally flipped it right over his head. This cannot happen. Communication's got to be better, number one. And I don't know. I know. I think you're correct that he wanted the pitch up. But if you watch that whole sequence, Stubbs kind of goes like that to the spot where Seranthony ended up throwing that. I'm wondering if that almost distracted Seranthony. Or did or was Stubbsy trying to be cute, saying, "Hey, we're going to throw it out here, but I'm going to fake up top and then be out there for you." I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I would like to hear what was going on. But in all honesty, for Seranthony Dominguez, somebody's got to walk up to him and say, "Get mean on that stinking mound," and shove it right to him.
You're right, and he's out of options. So there's only a couple of things that can happen.
You have to at some point. You have to take a stand for yourself. Because you're getting pounded around the ballpark. It's time for him to stand up for himself.
Let me get the catcher perspective, because JT Realmuto is on one knee, Garrett Stubbs is on one knee, and people in with your perspective, Ben, say, why is one knee down and it prevents you from getting to the ball as quickly as you might?
Yeah, you're locked into a certain position, and you don't have any mobility. That is a ball, honestly. And I see it differently from Ricky. I just saw Stubbsy holding his mitt up top, and he just yanks it down and away. That is a ball that Stubbsy should have had, but it's at high 90s, 97, 98, 99, and you're just not expecting it there. It's hard to go from this position all the way down to the ground. So it's what everyone's doing, and they're saying they're stealing more strikes this way with a knee on the ground and working up underneath the ball and present it to the umpire that way. Having said that, I know that tying and winning run are on second and third base.
Yeah. And you got guys
and you have
throw
no mobility. You're just locked into a certain position. Now, it is a fastball. You're never going to block a fastball because you don't have that reaction time. And with a breaking ball, you can anticipate that a little bit in the dirt and be able to slide over and shift it. But if you're locked into a certain position, you can't shift. So you're relying on basically trying to pick the ball.
And I agree with that because if he's got his target here, I mean, even if you miss, it shouldn't be way over here.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. He's overthrowing everything. When he's missing, he's just going sideways. It's like harder, harder, harder. Once you start doing that, you just lose your command, and that's the miss. When you overthrow, that is your miss. Glove side in the dirt.
What can Rob Thompson say about this tough loss? Here he is in Anaheim.
On the wild pitch there, Dominguez, like Stubbs first set up like low and away, and then he
went
hopped up
and then,
inside, and then So where was that pitch supposed to go? And what happened?
I think he wanted it up.
Okay.
Up higher than that, and when he set up his glove, he just was too far away from it to go get it, and sort of just kind of yanked it. But I thought he was getting out of that.
Yeah, he did.
Was he 0-2, 1-2?
0-2.
0-2. Just struck out Adele. Yeah, it's too bad. Infield single started the whole thing, and
You think he's dealing with a little bit of a confidence thing right now, Dominguez?
Well, he shouldn't be. I mean, he threw the ball really well in San Diego, so he's got to make pitches, but I think he's fine mentally.
You guys walked 9 times, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of a case where you couldn't take advantage of some of the traffic on the bases.
Yeah, we had some opportunities, no doubt. We just didn't come through tonight, and we've been coming through. So that'll change, but it's just one of those nights.
You started out on fire with the 3 runs in the first,
Yeah.
and then for 7 innings, you didn't really do much at the
Yeah.
plate. What were your thoughts on their pitching adjustments?
Well, we had 9 walks, so I'm not sure how they adjusted, but we had 9 walks, and we should have scored more runs. We only got 6 hits, but you get 15 runs in a game, or 15 base runners in a game. You're normally going to score more than 6 runs.
A little bit of a momentum change too. Top of the 7th, had the bases loaded and the grounder.
Yeah, we had opportunity.
What'd you make of Sanchez start? Like he didn't flash the changeup much
No,
at all.
I don't think he didn't have as good stuff tonight. And command, he didn't throw his changeup as much. I'm not sure why. I got to find that out. But he went to his slider and cutter, slider, whatever you want to call it, and the fastball. So I got to find out why, because it's a field pitch, so you got to keep throwing it to get it. And usually that's what he does.
Yeah, he didn't throw it at all in that whole first inning.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know if that was
Yeah.
that was weird.
Alec at the plate, another 3-hit game for him. How
He's hot. I mean, he's really swinging that well. He's got a lot of confidence right now. He's very disciplined at the plate. He's using the field. He's a really good hitter right now.
The second run scores there when Stubbs tries to backflip it. Is there a right play there? Or is that just kind of a desperation
It's
attempt?
desperation, yeah.
Right.
But we should have one infielder float into the middle there in case that happens.
Okay.
With the amount of stolen bases that have happened with Sanchez on the mound, when he's out of the stretch, do you see him kind of like concentrating on too much?
Yeah, I think there are times when that happens, because we're talking about, we're working on it, so it might be on his mind. But that's a situation where you just got to go. You got to get the hitter. I mean, we'll keep working on holding runners, but you got to go attack the hitter and take care of that.
Take a look at Christopher Sanchez's numbers tonight. And as you look at these numbers, and they are pedestrian at best, at worst they are far from average. And you heard from manager Rob Thompson saying Sanchez, quote, didn't have his good stuff tonight, his command, didn't throw his changeup as much tonight. Got to find out why. It's a field pitch, so you got to keep throwing to get it, says Rob Thompson. But more important is Ricky Bo and his cartoon drawing ability. Forget about Charles Schultz. Forget about Gary Trudeau.
PGW on the mound.
Is that amazing? I think we should just close the show right now.
We should just end it right there. PGW, eye on the mound.
Eye on the mound. Look for that coming every night.
I didn't know it was arts and crafts time.
I had a commercial break to do all that.
It's in there.
But the one thing you have to understand is that when you watch Christopher Sanchez tonight, the one thing you heard was loud noises. A lot of loud cracks at the bat. They were hitting the ball hard off of him. He was elevating his pitches. I mean, it is a little bit concerning, especially when a guy starts deleting one pitch. I think that, or not. I guess I wouldn't say delete it because he threw some, but I mean not using his pitches like he should. I think 100% a changeup, you have to keep throwing it. If you don't throw a good one in the first 4 or 5, you don't just quit on it. You keep going, because then if you think back, okay, I'm going to go with 2 pitches now the rest of the game. Doesn't make any sense to me, and his location was way off.
From what you both saw tonight, are we sure that Christopher Sanchez won't be the odd man out now that Taijuan Walker is back and Spencer Turnbull is getting a start coming up?
I think he'll be fine. I agree. I think the pitch usage was not there tonight. The changeup percentage was down 15%. He usually throws it 35%. He only threw it 20% of the time. That's a huge part of his repertoire, is that changeup. And if you're not going to throw it, as a hitter, if you can eliminate a pitch, that makes your job that much easier. Not that hitting's ever easy, but it makes it easier. So, from that standpoint, I agree. You got to keep throwing it until you get that feel back. It happened to him last year, but he stuck with it, and he would finally get the feel for that pitch back. But he's got to throw that pitch.
But it's a bread and butter pitch for him.
Correct.
I mean, it's a big pitch for him. It's a change of speeds. It takes everybody off of your fastball a little bit, or vice versa if you're going with your sinker. I just think you have to continue throwing it until you get a feel for it in the game.
We've talked about Seranthony Dominguez as well. Here he is post-game in the clubhouse.
The 0-2 pitch to Ward. Looks like Stubbs was up and in. But you first set up low and away, and then he went up and in, and then you threw it low and away.
No, it was my bad. I just tried to go. We tried to go a high away and just pull the ball a little bit.
You were trying to go high away.
Yeah, high away, and I just pulled it down. That was me.
Did you feel like you were almost out of that inning there? I mean, just off the track.
Yeah, just one pitch away to get out. Unfortunately, I just threw the white pitch, and the thing I give it a double after that. But I almost get it.
What do you think is the key for you to kind of getting back to the best version of yourself?
I can't give you the answer like 100% right now. I just try to do my best every time they give me the opportunity. I'm still working on get better each day, and every day that they give me the opportunity, I go out to compete.
What's your confidence level at right now, especially after a night like this where you pitch pretty well and the results just aren't what you want?
It's hard to me, but I still believe in me. I believe in myself, and every time, like I said before, every time that they give me the opportunity, I go compete outside.